the control mode of operation, you will notice all the devices and motor control are set up into different zones. Under the field transfer zone, you will have your bin gates and your box set up. So for example, you can control your bin gate open or close or auto. You can also scroll through to your devices or motors in the system as well between the bin and the scale. So for this example, you have a 101, which would be your scale fill conveyor, and then you would have an underbin that would go under the underbin and fill the scale fill conveyor. So those would be the two conveyors under this zone, and then you would have your bin gates. To scroll through the bin gates, you would just use this button underneath the picture of the bin. So you would just get to where it says bin gate or box and then use this to navigate. Under the scale, you also have the ability to populate each of these to display more information. The more you click it, the more information it will populate. So it will show your draft information and the amount of pounds per draft. It'll show what seed scale it is and the information below that, and it'll also show you the scale display with the pounds per minute reading. If you click it one more time, it'll collapse the information. Underneath the discharge transfer 1, you will have a scale gate. If you had a multi-flow system, you would have two scale gates, scale gate 290 and scale gate 292. And then for this particular instance, we have a 102 conveyor, which would bring seed from the scale to the seed applicator, and that completes zone 2 essentially. You also have a representation of a scale gate as a bar. The triangle is the conveyor motors, and then this final piece right here would be if you would have a divert valve. Once that would be triggered, that would also go green. Underneath the applicator, you would have all the motors that are used on the applicator itself. So you have the drum motor. This is the hand speed at 100%, and you can adjust that accordingly to 90, and then you can run it in forward. You also have the reverse option for something other than the applicator. The applicator only runs in forward. The atomizer also can be controlled through your handoff auto underneath the applicator devices. And you have an air purge as well that would purge the chemical lines after the batch is complete. Those are your devices, and underneath the actual KSi applicator you have many different settings as well, and as you click you will notice it'll populate all the settings that you have edited or entered underneath the system mode. This will give you all your settings, and I will also point out that it'll show you how many pounds per minute that you are running as well. The discharge transfer 2 will give you your loadout conveyor, and that will also turn green when it is turned on. Underneath the liquid stand, it'll give you your liquid sources. You will see that we have liquid stand 1 and 2 set up, and they're both scales. They're both what we call loss in weight scales, and it will display how much is on that scale. So 12 pounds for liquid stand 1 and 16 for liquid stand 2. So if I click again, it'll display the recipes that I have set up, and if I click again, it'll collapse that information. And the same can be done for your box information or soy or any of your bin information. You'll be able to populate. The more you click, it'll populate more information. Up above there, the picture of the bin, you will notice a customer and the first and last name, and then what your targeted order amount is. So that's also a reference point when running an order. I will also point out you have the ability to navigate to your bin fill section where you will fill your bins. So this is where you would navigate and find your 104 bin fill, which would be your big conveyor, your long conveyor, and then your undercar as well. And there could be a variety of different conveyors in there to fill your bulk bins. You also have a vary rate control. The vary rate control has the settings for the initial boost. The initial boost is actually stating how far the gate opens up when starting an order. So this would be the scale gate. It would open up at 35% open, and then it would find its set point from there. It's to give that initial burst of seed to get seed flowing, and then at that point the system will find the set point of 1,600 pounds per minute in this example and continue releasing seed. The crossover weight is if you would have a multi-flow system, and this amount of pounds tells the system to open up the opposite scale than the one that's discharging. So for example, if scale A is discharging and it reaches 120 pounds, it would automatically start opening up scale B to give you that continuous flow and no drop in flow. We also have the empty weight in pounds. This will consider the scale empty if it's below 15 pounds for 5 seconds. On the right hand side here, you will notice a calculator that you can use. This is a team viewer icon. So this will actually give you the ability to activate your team viewer if you are online. So this will give you the ID and it'll show ready to connect if need be. This XLS will bring you to where you can find your data. So this is another shortcut that you can pull up your data through this window. That concludes the control HOA and control zone overview.